Please say hello. This is Martha.
Hello.
That is Inga.
Hello.
And that is Karan.
Hello.
I think I have a feeling this is by far going to be the most interesting conversation for me for the year 2022, at least in the month of Feb.
On 24th, on this date, at this hour.
Now, you're familiar with a conventional relationship. Man, woman, or now man, or woman. But these three, Karan, Inga, Martha, they're thriving, all three of them together. What I understand as a polyamorous relationship.
Yes.
Now, how would you like to define your relationship? Karan, Inga, Martha, you are staying together, thriving, growing. It's been 3 years or more in Netherlands.
Yeah.
If you were to explain, anybody, take it, how would you describe your relationship? Who fell in love with whom first?
Okay.
And then who entered?
You guys actually start with this because...
Then Inga should probably start this then.
I saw Karan first.
You saw Karan first?
At University Campus.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh, by the way, all three of them are psychologists.
Yes. We all studied psychology, and
I think it becomes easy for you because you're psychologists. No?
Yeah, I mean, it makes things easier.
Yeah, the communication.
You have an edge.
Yeah. A little bit, yes.
Maybe.
Definitely, yes.
Okay, so you met Karan first at the university.
Exactly. We locked eyes, and through a common friend of ours, we actually met for an interview for a room in our flat.
I was looking for an apartment.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for an apartment, and somebody said, okay, there's this girl who needs a roommate. Can you go?
Yeah.
Then when I actually went there, she didn't like me.
So hang on. So Inga, you were single then?
I was single, yeah.
Okay, so Karan, you were single too.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when we finally met for the house interview, we got along, but then she also didn't want me to live there, and I was also like, okay, maybe I should not live there because I liked her already.
Already?
I said I was interested. I mean, guys. I was like, okay, interesting.
Easy and fast.
Easy.
Sorry,
So, but then, so I started texting her because she said, okay, we got another roommate and stuff, and then she phased out. But I was texting her now and then, like, hey, let's catch up and all of that.
And I didn't reply.
So she didn't reply.
Oh. Karan, you have always been straight.
Yeah.
Not even bi-curious.
I've been bi-curious.
Okay.
Actually, when I was younger, when I was in high school, I've had some experiences
Encounters
with guys.
Escapades or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
But
But I think when you're younger, when you're in high school,
Curiosity
you're basically horny at the end of it, right?
Yeah.
So that time...
Oh, totally.
Right,
Not just in high school.
I think it was also about what was accessible. Right, I think guys were more accessible than girls were when we were in 7th standard. But we don't tell it out because as soon as you said this experience,
and
you
had taboo back then.
And you already have to behave gay or you have to behave straight.
Correct.
This whole anyway. So we met and then we started seeing each other like no, we didn't. So I tried texting her for a month and then she was not giving me any bhav.
And then on a concert, we met again. We saw each other and we had a great night just talking.
Okay.
And a week later, we actually met for a day, for just like a chill date. And then we were like, okay, this is actually, we actually get along. And yeah.
So, you are not straight.
No, I'm bisexual.
You're bisexual.
Yes.
And Inga, you're bisexual?
No,
She's Inga.
Oh, this confused. Sorry. So, Inga, you're bisexual.
Yes.
Karan is bi-curious, while Martha, you're...
Also bisexual.
Bisexual.
Yeah.
Okay, so the two of you met.
Yeah,
so we started like seeing each other.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't call it. Although both of us didn't want to be in relationships.
Not at all.
Because I had been in relationships before. She had been in we realized for us individually it never worked. It never worked because we were, to lack of better words, we were not very pious.
Karan, if you remember, you and I...
We had a conversation once.
in Firangi Pani when you were hosting the karaoke nights.
Yes.
The first time that I had a conversation with Karan where we really sat and thought that, oh my God, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Both of us realized we questioned the whole structure, the institution and concept of marriage. Back in the day, I was like,
While we were married.
Karan, I was like, don't even you think so? I was like, wow, we have to meet, we have to talk.
Because till that point, actually, Prithvi, to be honest, till that point, I thought I was crazy.
Even I thought I was crazy.
Right, I thought I was crazy. Right, till I got, this is when I was, 27, this 2013, I think, so 9 years ago, so I was 26, 25.
Yeah.
And I thought I was crazy. I thought there was something medically wrong with me, because for a lack of better words, I couldn't keep it in my pants.
Correct.
Right. But with no ill intention. The intention was never to cause malice or whatever. But then when we met, so when I met Inga, she was that other person. So she was, and which is why when we met, we were like, okay, let's just hang out, because we hang out, we're having a good time.
Yeah.
So let's just see. No expectations, no anything. We just spend time because we like spending time with each other. Ashte.
Fantastic. Okay. Now, when did Martha enter this equation?
Much later, but before that, there's
Would
something.
you say that Inga and Karan, you were kind of seeing each other, or you were hanging?
But
So there's one more story to this. So when Inga and me
Of
was,
course there is.
It's not only that easy.
yeah, so it's not nothing. No question of yours will get an easy answer.
Yeah.
This will tell you already.
We apologize in
So
advance.
me and Inga, when we started seeing each other, so I was new in Netherlands. I just moved there for a few months. So New Year's, I had no plans. And she was already she was supposed to meet some friends in another city called Berlin in Germany. So then she said, if you're not doing anything, come over, we'll hang out.
Let's start the year with a bang.
Bang,
Exactly.
literally. Okay, and now this is where it gets interesting. So I figured out a way to get to Berlin. I got to Berlin, and then one day before New Year's, we decided to go partying together. And then we picked up a girl together. Right. So this is, and so we met a girl. We both vibed with her, and we just ended up spending the night with that girl. And next morning, we just woke up and we were like, this is it.
This works.
This works. And that was it. That's our love. That's our love story to say, which is basically that was it. So we were like, okay, because till then we were the crazy ones. Till then we were the sluts or the whatever, all the words and the. But then we simply set each other free.
Wow.
And that kind of created the foundation.
And the girl that you met, by chance, was she a psychologist too?
No. Actually, was she?
Actually, she
Yeah, she also was.
Actually true.
Okay, so I get it. So this is disease among psychologists.
You should have said she was an engineer, man.
But I'm an engineer as well. So that's the thing. I'm an engineer cum psychologist.
Lord, wow.
Okay, and then so next morning, literally, we were like, okay, why we liked being with each other is because we could just be ourselves.
Yeah.
That
Without
was without judgment, without worrying. Can I say this? Can I look at that girl? Can I look at that boy? Can we talk about things?
You set yourself free. That
was pretty much it. So that was the foundation in which we started off. Then Inga had to go to Africa for a few months. So when she was in Africa and when I was in Netherlands, we dated different people. We saw different people.
Oh, that's allowed.
Yeah, there was
exactly.
there was
We
no
are
rules,
open.
right?
We are
Setting each other free.
Exactly. No rules, whatever.
So it's an open relationship. All
Kinda,
three of
yeah,
you.
kinda, right? So we said, so we met other people, we connected with other people, but we still were not completely ourselves or able to be completely ourselves with the people that we met. And we kept saying, we just have to wait for her to come back from Africa. And then, so she came back and we moved in, and that was it. And we kind of created this foundation. And then, then she and I would just have a lot of fun. Doing and also dealing with life. We were still in university, working. I still didn't have a job, and going with the regular struggles of life as well.
Yeah.
So go on. You were saying something.
No, I just wanted to say, and then after that, we met her.
Now,
Yeah.
So actually, that was 3 months.
Martha, enter.
Yeah.
That's where you entered.
Oh my god. I mean, that story is also a little longer, but I'll just shorten it.
How long was this?
A year, 4 months.
1.5
And that's
years,
when after that
Martha
you met
moved in.
Martha.
Yeah.
Martha, how did you meet? Who did you meet first?
I
This is also another interesting story. Go on.
I also met Karan first because Karan was in my year at university. So that's why I met him first. But I knew him already for, I think, before any of this happened, for a year, was it? Like a year or something. I mean, I knew you existed, obviously, in my year.
Okay.
But then Karan had a, let's say, a reputation at university.
Sorry? Karan had?
A reputation.
Oh, he had a reputation.
So,
of course he did.
But also you have to see, okay, it's the Netherlands. Then my whole year was 21-year-old Germans. White young people, not really exposed. He comes in, he's a little older, he's wearing harem pants, he's wearing kurtas, and he's just this colorful,
he's an Indian
exotic
guru.
Exactly. So yeah, then people were just saying, yeah, you should just be careful around that guy, he's older, like yeah, you should just be careful, you're young, and yeah, whatever, and he's around all these girls all the time.
Oh really?
Watch yourself. No basis for these statements whatsoever. But
people who didn't know me. All people who didn't know me. Exactly.
This was the campus talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk, exactly. So, but because also I was young, I was also...
How old are you, if I may ask you, right now?
When I met them, I was like 20.
And now?
21 I was. Now I'm 24.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's all been around 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And how old are you, Inga?
I'm 25.
25
like
and Karan is...
34.
34. And I'm not important, okay?
Yeah, well, so anyways, for about a year or something, I had that in my mind. So I met him a couple of times, and like at one party, I remember this particular day because I saw him sitting there just smoking a cigarette, and I was just like, he seems so peaceful. So I just approached him, and then we had a talk, and it was just nice, and we were both completely ourselves.
So you were not colored with the campus talk, or you approached him with some caution?
Yeah.
Yeah, with caution.
Definitely,
I still did with caution, but I was like, he just seems like a nice person, so I'm just gonna genuinely just see what it is. But so that conversation was nice, and actually that night also he told her about that he met me and that I'm a really nice girl, and that maybe
he was very excited when he came after.
So I just said, I met this girl. She seemed very interesting, and she seemed like there was a vibe.
Amazing that the girl excites both of you.
Correct.
It excited you, Karan. It excited you, Martha. Right? Oh, sorry, it excited Inga.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you, all three of you met.
No, then after this party,
After
this
the
party,
party,
I tried texting her.
Yeah.
Because so for
Same.
me, you know this about me. When I meet someone,
Oh, so you repeat your drill again.
my drill is the same. When I meet someone,
he told
I try to say hello. I try to have a conversation. If I like someone, I don't believe in all these rules, or you have to wait 3 days.
So, but he told her like, yeah, we should hang out with her and all that stuff. Then he kept texting me. I was like, I don't know, man. I'm still gonna. I still had these cautions, like inside my head, these precautions.
But hang on. So Martha, before this, were you ever in a relationship similar to this with three people?
No.
But you already knew that you were bisexual.
No, and that also.
So the first time you realized
Yes.
wow.
Yes, I always knew I love people, I love everybody. That was kind of my thing, but
You were never in a relationship ever.
I was
With a boy or a girl?
With guys.
She had conventional relationships.
Yeah. But it always broke off because I kind of also wanted to be free. Like then I wanted to go abroad, travel, do my own thing. So it always broke off because I kind of wanted to do something else, I guess. And then
So this was your first of its kind.
of course, it was.
Then after that party, also 1 year we didn't meet.
Yeah.
Then we had to be in the same class, in the same project group, together.
The two of you.
Me and Martha.
And
Which
Karan.
you have to see, it was again a year later.
That was a year later, and then then we started hanging out. Like we started talking in class, and then she was like, "Why haven't we hung out?" I said, "You know exactly why we haven't hung out.
Why?
Because of all these stories." So she just stayed away. It was very obvious that she was avoiding.
So meanwhile, you and Inga stayed together.
Yeah, we had moved in by then. Yeah, we had moved in by then.
So yeah, but anyways, then one day I was just like, because we got along so well, I was like, damn, I'm really sorry, that I listened to whatever people talking behind your back, and I got cautious because of that, because that's also not me. So I said, maybe we should just hang out sometime. So we did.
Just the two of you.
Karan the two of you. Yeah, but
Martha.
it was like for a couple of hours where we made a curry, of course.
I called her over because Inga was also living with me then. So I said, come over for this weekend.
When you said you made a curry, there's no pun, right? I mean.
No, I made curry. I really did.
Food.
I made food. I made one coconut Kerala curry. I made.
Exactly.
Okay.
So and then she came over, and then on Saturday she came over. She came for a few hours, and we just spoke, and we got along really well.
Where was Inga?
Inga had visited her parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I said, come over tomorrow, because Inga's also going to be there.
I clearly remember this. He was like, I need you to meet Inga. And I was just like, yeah, I'd love to meet her, because he was talking so much about her. And then, the next day, the next day I met her and, of course, them together. And it's just, I cannot explain it any different way, because when I met them, it just, not that
felt right.
It felt right. It was just, I was being myself, they were being themselves.
No awkwardness or...
There was just love from the beginning. There was appreciation for each other, and yeah.
Wow.
So then also you have to see, I didn't know I was into women, and then of course, look at this woman.
When is the first time that all three of you together got physical?
Oh, so I stayed there day and night from that day. That is one thing. I was looking for a place.
Hang on. So sorry. Did just the two of you, you and Karan, when did just the two of you get physical or
that also happened much later.
A month and a half, 2 months later. So what happened is when we met, we knew we liked spending time with each other.
Okay.
Right, the physical aspect we didn't even think of. We were like, we like spending time with each other.
Okay.
We don't have any frame of references of how this works.
Because this is your first.
It's an experiment for all of us. We don't know how it's going to be. But one thing we were sure of, we want to be good to each other. We be kind to each other and hear each other out, create that space.
Like we would end up cooking, talking the whole night, and I even started sleeping in their bed with them without it being physical or sexual or whatever. It was just that we really were like, okay, this is something. We don't know what it is. But
exactly. So we also didn't know how to deal with it, and which is why with her, because she was young and she was not so exposed as she was, we had always told her, listen, this is in your court. Saying you take your time to do or not do or be or not be wherever, and then we'll figure this from there. So I think for the first time, me and Martha got physical was almost 2-3 months.
Just the two of you.
Just the two of us.
Without
Inga. Was I think 3 months when we went to Portugal. Yeah. Like, technically. Right? That was like 3.5-4 months.
Where were you, Inga? Why?
She was also around.
She was always around. It's not like without her, but she was still trying to figure out
her sexuality
itself, like whether she's attracted to women or not. So, but we still have this sexual tension between me and Martha itself, right? So, and Inga and me have always had this sexual
already been
open. We've been with other women before, threesomes before, or she's hooked up with other men, I've hooked up with other women before, and all of that has happened. So,
but we also we knew there is something between us. Like there was this spark, but like I was so in my head still about this whole. I like girls? Like, is this...
till then it was only you and Karan. And you are not expressed your intention or your liking.
The intention was the three of us. The intention was the three of us, but the sexuality, or the sexual part...
For it to manifest.
I was very clear that I like guys, and that is, kind of my sexuality.
When did you first express that you may also like girls?
I mean, we started kissing each other very early.
Actually, the first time, not the first time we kissed, but the first time I said I love you to her.
Straight? First time?
No, she's saying the first time that she said it through the course of time. Go on,
was when we were in the food aisle, in the sweet aisle of our supermarket.
I love supermarket.
So it was like, it took some time because it was just about making her comfortable, making her see, okay, is this something that she might like?
But also not just sexually with you. It was with him. It was the same thing. I was just, of course, at that point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna really, really try this. I was, of course, more clear like the sexual thing will work out because he's a guy. With her, I was not sure. But then, I mean. Just.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. At any point of time, was there jealousy? I'll give you an example. For instance, when Inga and Karan got together, did you by any chance feel jealous either for Karan or for Inga at some point of time, and did you have to process it, or it was naturally no jealousy?
No, I would say like jealousy. I would say jealous of both of you. I was not, because from the beginning I knew that they are the base, right? So they were the same person to me. So if they would get physical in the beginning, or if that would happen without me, it was also because I was not really sure of my place in it and all that stuff in the very beginning, of course.
Okay.
But then after that, it was just, for me, actually also pleasurable to hear it or to
Sorry, it was pleasurable for
me to know that it was happening, like even without me or whatever. It's just also based on time and proximity and all that stuff, right? So, and we all have different relationships with each other, like the three of us. And
Help me understand, like what?
Like we have I have an individual relationship with her,
Yeah.
which is very different from what I have with him, which is very different from what he has with her. But
Like
we
something
give each
as
other
simple
space
as,
for
let's say, spending an evening together.
that. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, okay.
If Inga and me are alone, sometimes we can be in silence for hours. That's our best space for both of us. When me and Martha are together, we are talking. We're talking a lot. We're going round and round and just having long conversations, sometimes redundant also. But we're just doing this. Like them both, I mean, they should say what their relationship
Just
is about.
Inga and Martha, the two of you?
You can actually.
Well, for me, okay, you also have to see it. Like, for me, it's very difficult to describe relationships because for me, it's just feelings. And in this regard, it just works. Like, there's just things that we connect on based also on our cultural background, just around this.
No, for example, what Karan said, an evening is spent with a lot of silence with you and a lot of talking with her. How is an evening spent just between the two of you?
Silence and
without
talking.
Okay, silence
They
and
have a
talking.
combination of both, yeah.
We talk a little more because also we share that dry German humor.
Dry German humor.
Yeah, like the very bad ones.
Okay,
And-
between the three of you, who is more physical?
Physical.
Yeah.
You mean sexual?
Sexual or
I would
non-sexual?
say Martha is the
Who-
most
who-
cuddliest.
Yes.
Ah.
She's the
Very
most,
cuddly.
she's the
Yeah.
most
Martha
cuddliest.
is-
Yeah.
Very physical.
Same with Martha. You're the same with Inga and Karan.
Yeah.
You're the cuddly one.
Yeah.
Though I have to say I am also very, 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 very cuddly. Not as much as Martha though. But Karan is just like, okay, like, I mean, we cuddle and all that stuff, and that's also
I'm not
good,
much of
but
a
like
cuddler.
he's not
You're not
that
much
much
Not much
of
of a cuddler.
So Martha and I are much more.
Yeah, so they really
Physical
connect
with
on that.
cuddle, yeah.
Me and Inga normally she'll sit there, I'll sit here. We'll do
Okay.
our thing.
Yeah, but however, in the night,
Yeah.
we cuddle the whole night.
Okay, I was coming to that. So
Yeah.
who cuddles?
Okay.
Karan
So in the
and-
night, Martha likes space. She likes
See,
space.
I like hugging you and being
Oh,
cuddly.
you are a daytime cuddler.
Daytime cuddler, nighttime. So, but in the night,
It works for you perfectly
correct.
though.
Yeah.
And in the night, Inga and me like this.
Yeah.
So therefore, during the whole day, we don't even like touch each other.
This is like made for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly,
what you want.
Exactly.
Because I like to hold them for like 2
Little
minutes.
bit, and then she'll go off. Saku and time
And I'll be
aito,
like,
akada
okay,
hogbitane.
Yeah.
Man, this is so interesting. We have some live audience in the studio. Their mouth or buying. What's happening? The culture shock. You have any questions for them? About anything?
Yeah, really,
Come close to the
Go
mic
for
and
it.
ask.
Yeah.
Just come. Melvin and Vatsa. Anything.
Come.
Yeah, please
Actually,
feel
come-
free.
You can come to Inga's and
And
mine.
those who are watching, if you have any comments, please leave a comment. Either Karan or either Martha or Inga will answer it on YouTube or on Insta.
Instagram, yeah.
This
We
is
don't
so interesting. This polyamorous relationship. This is amazing how you are thriving. Ibraira Kasta. There's two of us. Conventionally, man or a woman, or just woman, man. The three of them. This is so refreshing the way they live their lives. Yes, Vatsa or Melvin, you
Yes.
have a question? Come on. Or if you
Actually,
are
come here.
uncomfortable or shy, tell me.
No, ask.
You ask her? Okay.
You can only ask.
Come. This is Melvin. He's sound engineer in Fever 104 FM. Close to the mic.
Okay, how does the society react to your kind of relationship?
Super question.
Like, how do you guys,
It
feel?
depends, I would say.
How do you react to the society's reaction?
Actually, just the way you see us now.
See, I am a
No,
non-conformist myself.
True,
so
but
for me it's refreshing.
therefore, the thing is, as long as nobody is meaning harm, we understand that they have also limitations in understanding.
Yeah.
Correct.
True.
Right?
Also, like, people will believe
question, Melvin.
what they want to believe, but usually, if that belief is also negative, if people take the time to ask us questions and to hear us out, there will be no
Yeah.
hard feelings or no issues.
There are only two kinds of people in the society.
Yeah.
One that are, of course, let's say both are surprised by the way we live, but there are only two reactions. One is they're surprised and they're curious to find out,
Yeah.
right? The other is they're surprised and they get triggered.
Triggered for what?
Triggered in where they say, oh, I'm glad it works for you, this won't work for me, and they retract, which is we respect that as well, right?
Yeah.
So, but this is the only two reactions that we've seen, and this is not, a lot of people ask, oh, does this work in the Netherlands or Germany and doesn't work in India? Actually, we see no difference.
Yeah.
We've seen, of course, maybe it's a little more accepted in terms of they let you be in a country like Netherlands.
I mean, if you're speaking geographically, end of the day, we're all human beings.
Correct.
Right? The reactions
At
of
the
human
end of
beings
it-
are real. Whether
and-
you're a Kannadiga or you speak
Exactly.
English or Urdu or Tamil, Telugu,
Absolutely.
whichever creed, religion that you follow,
And that is
it's
the
now happening here.
that is the grounding principle of this relationship, which is behind Karan, behind Indian, behind ex-event manager, behind psychologist, behind everything that I know, learned, all of that. What is a human being? Right? And same with everybody else. So we're trying to see how far we can connect on that human level, where all the information that we have of what is right, what is wrong, what works, what doesn't work is arbitrary. We try to come as present as possible, saying, what can we do from here? Yes, according to what my mother told me, this could be wrong.
Correct.
According to what Christ tells me, this could be wrong.
I'm
so
sure
we can
you
go
and I can relate. We have unlearned so much.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. But that's the process. So what keeps us together is this process of constant unlearning.
Yeah.
That's what keeps us together, because every time some new event happens, yes, there is a trigger. We're human beings. We have
And the
this trigger.
certain amount of intelligence and emotional maturity. I have a feeling the fact that you're all psychologists, you may have an edge
True.
to discuss as adults. You're young. I mean, all of you are like in 30s.
Yeah.
This is phenomenal.
And we like going deep into things.
Yeah.
The thing is, actually, one
You'll
is psychologist.
thrive.
See, the difference between a psychologist and a human non-psychologist is that maybe we know definitions.
Fair.
Ashte. But at the end of it, if two people are willing to sit down and talk, and sometimes we talk for hours,
And be a little open.
open and talk for hours and go through it. Okay, I am feeling jealous. Why? Because of this. Why? Go, keep going,
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
going, keep going. It just
Yeah,
goes as deep as possible to each
I'll-
other, saying, okay, it comes from here. These are the issues that I've carried.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so for guys, we have certain kind of these ego issues. For girls, they have some kind of emotional issues. These are the two main constructs that kind of break into it. But we sit down together with one underlying intention, which is, how do we make this right now situation better? Even if it means walking away from each other. Even if it means walking away from each other, but not revolving in one without resolving it. Then it won't work. It has to, and this is whether we're 3 people or 2 people.
Yeah.
This is, I think, this is the bare
Principle,
minimum
yeah.
for, we've been in 2 people relationships before and it hasn't worked out.
Same, right.
And I think here one advantage that we have as 3 people
The
is,
third perspective.
there's a
Yeah,
third
Exactly,
perspective always.
exactly.
Always a third
As
perspective.
soon as you and me are having a fight, Prithvi, as soon as one person, and this is normally in our house, it's Martha and me who are normally having these clashes of opinions, and then Inga will come and neutralize it completely, and then it's over. You're like, okay, either or waste aito, okay, parvagilla.
So the moral of the story, threesome rocks.
Yeah,
Threesome wins over twosome. It's awesome. Wow, man, this is so refreshing. Okay, do you recollect a nasty fight which you struggled to resolve, and how did you? Until Martha walked in or somebody didn't neutralize. Were you just any 2 of you between these 3? Were you stuck in a ruck and couldn't move on? A third person had to intervene.
We've never had nasty fights. This is something we can say very proudly. We've never come to a point of saying, oh, you did this.
disagreements.
You
Strong
did disagreements, yes, but not you did this, I did this, pointing fingers. This we haven't had. We've always been, okay, I feel this way, or you feel this way. How do we resolve this? So sometimes those will take time. That gets stuck in a rut.
Yeah.
In one word, all 3 of you. One word that describes your relationship. Starting with Karan.
Peaceful.
Inga.
Wholesome.
Wholesome. Martha.
Unconditional.
Unconditional. Super. Personally, what are your views on marriage?
If people want to do it, do it.
Okay.
It's just-
I tell
I
you
mean-
where I'm coming from, because
Yes.
this is in our DNA to ask questions. Where do you see yourself after this? Where is this relationship heading
Correct.
to? Okay. Since marriage is not a goal or destination for you,
We're already there.
Yeah. Like
you
The
are.
thing is, okay, the thing is, institutional marriage or per se, it is at the end of the day, right? It's a piece of paper that kind of locks down people in commitment to each
Okay.
other, right? But commitment itself, you have to define what is commitment, because we are so committed to each other. we are each other's base, and we unconditionally love each other no matter what. For me, that is the most commitment there can be.
Yeah. So for us,
hang on. So you are committed while this is an open relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
So therefore, a lot of people mistake commitment to sexual commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the difference. We are committed for life. Everything is first priority here.
Okay.
Right? So therefore, like for example, even if we are meeting other people, let's say I meet a girl, right? The first thing she knows about me is this.
Okay.
The first thing she knows about me is the life I'm living.
Okay, what happens if a fourth person enters your equation? Is there space for the fourth one?
You talk about this.
Oh, what is this pointing? Oh, why?
No, because this is a very interesting story.
Or you
that's
want
why.
to bring in a fourth person? And I'm saying, what is the outer limit for this? How many people can stay like this together?
I mean, we would not be in this equation if there was a limit in the first place.
Correct. Absolutely. Yes.
Because
Fair.
otherwise I wouldn't have happened in
Correct.
this equation.
True.
As long as there is no threat,
Yeah.
as long as there is no malice,
Yeah.
as long as there is no intention to destroy,
Yeah.
we don't know the limit.
Wow.
So we have friends, we have lovers who are outside of this,
Yeah.
who are somehow part of this from far away.
Yeah.
In fact, one of them is also Martha's best friend,
Right.
who stays far away from us, but she's kind of part of the family as well.
Okay.
Right? And she has her own life and does her own thing.
It
So
also all depends on time and proximity, right?
Yeah.
Like how much the person can be there, because we have unlimited love. Like
Yeah.
there's no limit to our love.
Hang on. So you are pursuing your career too.
Yes.
You have your own desire, your
Yeah.
ambitions.
Yeah.
Let's say you find a job in a different country, Inga, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does this then work if you have to leave the country, and how will you make this work? What are those kind of rules?
okay.
Career-wise, if you want to
Actually-
come and settle down in India, or you want to go to a different country, how does that work? And how are you going to keep this intact
I
together?
mean, we're going to see, okay, like how can we make this all together work?
Has this conversation happened in among three of you?
Yeah,
It has.
of
I mean,
course.
So
it has happened because
exactly.
it has happened. Because
Exactly.
when I did my master's in psychology, I got into this university in Rotterdam, which is 2 hours from where we had our house, where we lived. And I knew that I really wanted to go and I really wanted to study there.
Mhm.
So, yeah, then we obviously had to talk about it first. And it was a tough conversation because I had to leave our home for about, a year to figure this out for myself, to go as an individual and pursue my career and pursue my master's, basically. But it was possible because also they understood, okay, this is right now something that she has to do for herself, and we will support that no matter what. As long as, we love each other, we're still each other's home, even if one of us is not.
So
as
it's
proximate.
based on time. It's
Yeah.
based on time. How much? So whether we spend 365 days a year together or we spend 12 days a year together, the days that we're spending together, we make most of that.
Yeah.
Right? So now, of course, now she's moved back and now we have a life together. Right? And fortunately, we've created a life such that we can be complete individuals, and because of that, we're together. Right? Unfortunately, it just worked out that all three our careers kind of took off from. She had to come back, and then from here her career took off, and my career took off there. Inga's career took
Impeccable
off. Yeah.
timing.
It's just it just kind of aligning itself.
Yeah.
I have one rule: is just sit back and wait. Things will happen. This is just.
That's what you believe in?
This is my thing. It's been my thing for the last 5-6 years.
Look how it turned out for you.
Exactly. And so individually, we're free to do whatever. Like we also had this conversation. Let's say if one of us sees a better life somewhere,
What does that mean?
whatever is that
Whatever.
means.
You said like career, other
Career,
person,
like for example,
Whatever.
for me right now, if somebody asks me what do you want more, I've already dreamed. So we have this life that we live in where we live, which is we have a great house, we have great careers, and we have time. I got a lot of time. For me, a good life is having a lot of time.
Sure. Fine,
Right. So for me, for me, anything if moving any career prospect for me should be equivalent to having more time with them.
Okay.
So this is my
Your
individual
personal definition and
personal definition.
Mine as well.
your too.
Yeah.
And Martha, for you too.
Yes.
Have you ever discussed kids?
Yes.
Yes.
As in you want them, or you're okay without kids?
Making not much.
Yes.
Yeah, having our own children probably. I mean, you never know, right? If you never say never, but
why do you have a feeling between the three of you, Martha, you're the one who would like to have your own kid? Apart from Inga and Karan. I sense
it's
this
very
now.
it's very sharp.
You can read Martha's face like
Yeah.
this.
And you are not even subtle. So,
She thinks she's subtle, but she's not.
so how does that work? Now, if you want a kid, now Inga or Karan, they don't want a kid, but how do you make
It's
this
not
work?
that we would say we will never want to have
We
kids.
want kids.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. We all would love to be
That's
parents.
what it
Yeah.
is.
We just don't see it as a viable choice. In terms of, at least for
Not
me.
we, you.
Okay, me and
No,
Inga at
same
least.
with me.
Even though I want it, I see it the same way.
I think I would be a
There's
great
no-
dad. I've pictured myself being a father and all of this. And I think I would love to be a father. I just think it's not the right thing because we already have enough people, right?
That
And
is-
they're not running out of people.
That
Come
is
on.
one thing, and also, like, as of now, at least for me, I know what a commitment a child is.
Oh,
It's
it's a 20-year commitment minimum.
Exactly.
Minimum.
So, and to be honest, I like to live my life as an individual. I'm exploring so much for myself and with them that I don't know if there would be space for a kid.
True.
Fair.
Yeah.
So it's
And also, we help so many people in general
Yeah.
as people. And
And you all practice therapy? I mean, you counsel people and you...
we counsel everyone
We counsel
does,
everyone,
but
yeah.
we do different careers wise. Like, for example, I'm a student counselor
Okay.
at the university. Apart from that, for me, therapy or friends or lovers or people I meet to help, what I'm saying doesn't change. I'm just
Of
being
course.
the same.
Correct.
Martha is also really good at it. Inga is a little more on the organizational side of
Okay.
things.
Yeah,
So
I
she's a
work
risk
in
psychologist for a company.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I work in a risk management firm, but I am more
Have you
on the
done-
research side of things, not more
she
of the
makes sure
talking
everything
sides.
runs smoothly in the background. Like
Yeah.
she's that base.
She's the back end.
Have you done some risk management in this relationship?
I mean,
What are
for
the
me,
risks that you...
The thing is, for me, psychology itself is also, or like everything we're talking about, communication, that is all risk management if you think about it.
But you make sure that both of us stay grounded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I'm
Correct.
always
That's
making
true.
sure that everybody is fine, that everybody is taken care of. Maybe not with food from my side because I'm not a good cook, but that's their thing.
Yeah, like for Martha and me, a little
yeah.
more of the extravagant
Yeah.
kind. So we kind of tend to lose focus. And
Yeah. So I'm just like always like, hey, we're here.
yeah. So she kind of grounds us back, which is good.
Both of us. Yeah.
Go on. You were saying something?
No, that is also how I see this whole equation, because him and me have that much fire that together it is like
Yeah, we would burn each other.
yeah.
And that's the beauty of it as well. Martha and me get along really well, but if it was just me and her, we probably wouldn't work. Or
Yeah.
maybe it's a because
Even you're in agreement with that?
I'm in
statement?
agreement with that because it's not about the love or like whatever.
No, they love each
it's
other
just how
so
we are
much.
as
It-
people.
Wow.
We're very high energy
both
people.
of us don't like to give in. So
But that's
They're
beautiful
both
that you
stubborn
realized
fucks.
there is awareness, that self-awareness.
Yes.
we
that-
just, we
Yeah.
just need this one.
So
Awesome, man.
like
This
for
is-
and I think Prithvi, you already know I had a health scare a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
10 days ago.
10 days ago, exactly.
He was actually, he choked because of excess love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually had a massive heart
Heart
attack,
attack, yeah.
and I almost died. But and there was this one moment when I was in the emergency room where I kind of phased out, and I had only two faces in my head, right? And then that kind of just brought me back in the zone, and that's what I said. I said I will do anything that needs to be done for me to get healthy because I want to live a life with you guys.
Awesome.
So that's some clarity that we didn't even talk about or anything. It's just there.
it is.
So
And it's the same kind of clarity for both of you, to
Yeah.
Inga and Martha.
100%.
I mean, we just held ground the last couple of days, I guess, since this all happened, because we were like, we're not letting go. We want this. And
I don't know how to frame this question in terms
Say it
of
the way it
no.
is.
How do you bifurcate time? For example, let's say in sex, Karan and Martha, the two of you are feeling horny. You want to have sex.
correct.
You don't want Martha at some point, or
Inga.
same thing, or Inga. Or if Inga and Karan, let's say if you were horny, you didn't want the third person to interfere, but the third person also wants.
This has
How
never happened.
This has never happened.
Never.
Because
The thing is-
for us, especially Inga and me, is like, if we are horny, bring more
Yeah,
people.
it doesn't matter.
This is how we are.
Yeah, for Inga and you, yes.
Right.
No, but
For
it's
Martha,
not-
the same thing
no,
with
same
her
for
as
me,
well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course. No, but because we would never, like, this is, I can just say because this is the nature of our relationship. It's inclusive. So
Yeah.
we
It's
would
not
never be like,
exclusive.
oh, no. Like,
So because
we would
even
never-
while we were having, sometimes while me and Martha are having sex, we're kind of talking about
Inga.
Inga when she's not there.
Oh, same.
Yes,
Same here,
the
same
other
here.
way.
Yes,
Exactly,
exactly. So,
exactly.
and for us, another thing, sex has gotten to another level where it's no longer consumption. It's we have sex because we're horny. Ashte. Right? So if it's in the moment, we are there in that moment. If it flows, it flows. So there is no set pattern. Oh, we have to have sex once a week,
okay.
twice a week. All of this is gone because individually we're pursuing our lives. Individually we're doing what makes us happy. Like Martha loves music, Inga does her thing, I do my thing. Right? And therefore we're busy. Life is going to be busy always. So in the free time that we have, whatever happens, we're happy. So whether we have sex, we don't have sex, we watch TV, we eat food, go to sleep, all of these are just different activities. But it doesn't define the nature of the relationship at all.
Fantastic. Are there times when just the two of you wanted to get it on and you didn't want Karan?
No.
Did what? No.
Whoa.
But I've not been around, so.
Yeah.
Only then. Otherwise, you always
maybe.
want
Yeah,
the
or
third one.
whatever. It could also
It doesn't-
happen that we would want him to, and he wouldn't feel
Yeah,
like
sometimes
it.
I would not
Right?
feel like, yeah.
Right?
And
Exactly.
Then they would go ahead
So
with
we
it.
just go ahead.
Then we just do
That
our-
happens here as well. Like sometimes
Yeah.
the three of us are together, so Inga and me feel it, and she's like, sometimes in the mornings this happens where Martha is not very a morning person, and guys, we have morning wood.
Yo, what's with that?
Yeah, I guess the morning wood is like, it's because you're probably rested and then you wake up with this whole energy.
Yeah.
So then that time sometimes Martha, she's just like, okay, I'm going to the other room now. You guys fucking do your shit. And she walks away. So,
ಅಷ್ಟೊಳಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮಿಬ್ರದ್ದು ಚಂಡ ಮಾರುತ. What has been the weirdest question or the most awkward question when you meet people or when you've been into such conversations? Because
Oh,
I'm
awkward.
thinking, what else do I want to ask you? I was so curious.
they get a lot of questions which are triggering.
Okay, I'll
What
tell
is
you what
the
the,
most
the most awkward
Yeah.
question is. Oh, so you guys share a guy, or so you guys are sisters sharing a guy? I'm like, the fuck,
No,
man.
we're not.
No.
No, that's one thing. People don't really think that we are either able or we just don't have a relationship with each other.
Yes, because he's like the general perception is always a guy with two girls. Wow, like
Yeah,
he's
that's
Yeah, that's very-
he's the biggest or whatever. It's just oh sorry, this is just very annoying.
It undermines what we have
Exactly.
for
Right.
each other. That is.
But so what do you tell them?
Fuck you. No. No, we're not. We're telling them, hey,
You
no, this is-
explain? And-
Yeah, of course. We're just
Yeah.
explaining, hey, we're also in a relationship. We also love each other. It's not just like this. It's a whole triangle. We always
We
like
explain
to
the
say-
triangle, yeah.
Yeah, we explain the
Right.
triangle for people.
Yeah.
For some people, especially in India, like for example, it takes them for a while to understand how a woman can be into a woman. When we know this, we're still dealing with.
I mean,
people
now I'm
understand-
sure there's more
But this is
awareness.
again our modern upper middle
Again,
class.
this conversation is an urban conversation.
It's an urban
This is-
conversation, right? So, but if you actually, this has been cultural for a very long time in India also. Like we've been polyamorous by nature for centuries. The whole idea of monogamy kind of comes from the West. It's again we're talking mythology and all of that here, but at least in the human condition, this is possible.
And you and I were alive to this instinct. The rest of them maybe there was no scope to even explore, or they shunned them or suppressed.
And we also see the other thing that I face, and this is something I also deal with, is because of the way I look, I'm this big guy, brown hair, beard.
Is everything big about him? What was it?
What is this question?
You can answer that question honestly.
No. It fits very well.
Perfect. Sorry, I just
That's
broke into you were saying something. I was just
When I meet people, sometimes this whole perception still exists, which is, oh, you're a dude with two chicks.
yeah.
And actually, I sometimes find women with that perspective, which is very actually not feminist at all.
As in?
No.
Like where women kind of look down upon them
Really?
for
Yeah.
being with a guy.
Yeah.
It's happened?
Yeah, definitely. Everywhere.
Back
There,
like
here.
your play in your country or in
Yeah,
India?
everywhere.
Everywhere.
kind
We
of.
find one or two,
The one or two.
of course. But this is a perspective that exists. And where people kind of, because they don't want to understand it, then they have to put it in a box.
Which is where that whole you share a guy thing comes from.
Yeah.
Which we are just like...
We're not sharing, because sharing would include possessing, and we are not...
neither of us own him.
Exactly.
Neither do we own each other.
Any final comments? Anything that you want to convey to people who are watching this? This is like mind-blowing. Hats off to you guys.
Love is love. Let people be.
True.
Just let everybody be, and the world would be actually a better place.
Yeah.
I just think people are hung up too much about how a relationship should be.
Correct.
Yeah.
If two human beings can be nice to each other, it could be a brother, sister, friend, boyfriend, and all of
3
this.
human beings, 4 human beings, any
Right?
number,
Doesn't matter then. So, unfortunately, we live in a society where everything is kind of based on sex. But if you think about it, a lot of relationships that have lasted for 10 years, they lose it for 10 minutes of a mistake somewhere.
Sure.
Sex is just another activity. If it's just an expression, if it's a validation, then it becomes this egotistical problem. But if we move past the point where sex is not a physiological or psychological need, it's like making music. You hear a tune, I hear a tune, we play it together as 2 people, 4 people, jam, orchestra, doesn't matter.
Very, very well said. My love to all 3 of you. Hats off for making this work like magic. My love to you.
Thank you
Inga,
so much.
Martha, Karan, my darling, my brother. Love to all of you.